Hey guys, in today's video, we'll be taking a look at every LEGO Loki minifigure that's ever been released, including his variants, and this is fun. I love doing these comparison videos. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit like and subscribe and check out my other comparison videos here, and yeah, let's get into it. So we start off in 2012 with the original wave of LEGO Marvel sets, and that gives us our first ever Loki minifigure, and in fact, one of our first ever LEGO Marvel figures in general. It was really cool that he got leg printing. I mean, leg printing in the superheroes theme is relatively uncommon if you were to do it on a statistics base, but it is cool that our first ever LEGO Marvel villain, along with Magneto, technically did get leg printing. Yeah, I know Green Goblin and Doc Ock from Spider-Man, but you know what I mean. Anyways, he had this great helmet that will be used on pretty much every Loki from here on out that is kind of like a rubbery texture. He did not come with interchangeable hair though, so you would have to supplement that from your own collection back in the day, and he had a one-sided head. Now this head has been used on a lot of different villains in the LEGO lines since then, and just characters in general, but there is something I want to point out about this figure. Technically, the same figure came out a couple years later in 2016, but he had a slightly, and I mean slightly, different cape. When you look at catalogs, they call one of them the, traditional starch fabric cape, and then the other one has, I don't even know. They're just two slightly different capes. You can see there's a slightly different color to them. To me, that doesn't constitute, a brand new minifig. I say if you have one, you have both, but technically, if you're a completist, you do need both, and I am a completist, so here we are. So the first Loki fig came out in 2012, and then that alternate cape version came out in 2016, and the following year in 2017, we got the Thor Ragnarok Loki. I always liked this figure. I thought it had a great torso print. Of course, he did have back printing as well, which was quite nice. He had the kind of spongy yellow cape. I hate the spongy capes, but it is what it is. And he did have a new, and to this day, exclusive head with a really good Tom Hiddleston likeness with that smirk, and then he had some sweat pouring down on the other side when he's nervous because the Hulk showed up in Ragnarok. Now, he did come with his helmet, as you see here, but he also came with a hairpiece that you could swap out too, and I really like that. I just think that that's a cool thing that it literally cost LEGO a fraction of a penny to put an extra hairpiece in a set, and I just think it's cool when they do that. So, that's what we got here, and let's keep moving on. In 2018, Mighty Micro's Loki came out. He had gold hands, which was pretty cool, and he did have a little bit of back printing too. The gold is kind of that reflective printing that LEGO does. He of course had the Loki helmet as always, and he had a gold head, interestingly, with his face printed on front. Just for a quick little recap, Mighty Micros were these cool little bumper car style sets that gave you these super cartoonized version of LEGO characters from Marvel and DC, and while they were kind of fun at the time, they're kind of goofy and don't really fit in the collection super well these days, so I can appreciate them for what they are, but they're not all that great. Alright, it'd be 2 more years until we see another Loki, and this one, of course, is the one that came out in the 4+ set, The Wrath of Loki, arguably one of the worst LEGO Marvel sets ever if you count 4+, but regardless, it is a pretty good figure. He goes back to using that regular old Loki head and helmet. He has the spongy green cape with one hole in it, which I hate. He actually did have some back printing, which was really nice. And then, of course, a great torso print as well, and this kind of scepter here that had a 1x1 stud halfway up it, I guess to kind of be like the Mind Stone. I'm not really sure, but I think that was just more for style than anything. In 2021, we got the LEGO Marvel Collectible Minifigure series, which gave us Loki based off of his Disney Plus show. I'll lift his hair up so you can see that it says variant on the back of his jacket, and this is my favorite Loki head to date. I do think that one of the Loki figures that has yet to appear on the list is the best Loki figure, but I think that this head is the most like Tom Hiddleston if you ask me. He had a little TVA mug, even hip printing and leg printing, and all those great TVA details like on his belt buckle, and overall I absolutely love this figure. Now, also in the LEGO Marvel Collectible Minifigure Series 1, we got Sylvie, and we also got Crocodile Loki. Now, Crocodile Loki is supposed to have, horns on his head as we see in the show, but LEGO just gave us a regular crocodile because, well, LEGO got lazy. But I know Sylvie technically isn't Loki, but she is a variant, and so is Crocodile Loki, so I think for the sake of this list, it should count. I always loved that she had the great arm printing and dual molded arms on this figure, for that matter. I always wished she had leg printing, but I could live without it. She had a brand new hair piece here that had the horns and the broken off horn there, and if we lift that up, you can see she has a mischievous smirk on one side and a big happy grin on the other. On the back, you can see that she has her sword sheath, and I'm just now realizing that she should have a green sword in her hand, which I don't have in her hand right now, but it should be there, and I suppose you'll just have to use your Loki imagination for one more second, because here it is. Green sword, boom. And that brings us to what I'm going to definitively say is the best Loki ever, and that is the 2023 Loki that debuted in the Quinjet. Now, the one downside to him is that he has this spongy cape, which I really don't like, but pretty much other than that, it's amazing. This is one of the only other Lokis to get leg printing since 2012, which is nice. And then, of course, that amazing, amazing torso print is great. And if we lift that cape up, you can see we've got some continued torso printing on the back as well. But that's not all. He gets a brand new helmet here, which when you compare it to the previous Loki, has a lot more gold shine to the finish, which looks really, really nice. He gets a brand new head, and if we lift that helmet up, you can see that we also get a hairpiece for him that came on the CMF version of Loki, of course, and that looks really great. But the best part, in my opinion, is that you could flip it around and he has the muzzle, and he even has some bruises on his forehead from when Hulk flipped him around like a puny god. So, come on, man. This one looks so great. I love this figure. So let's finish out this little comparison video here. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's call it a day. Alright guys, let me know what you thought of this comparison video in the comments down below. I think it's hard not to say that the 2023 Loki is the best of them all, but if you disagree, I'd love to hear why in the comments down below, so let me know. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.